The Brisbane Lions, like, they're a highly talented team. So if you're a side that goes up there, that is it where Richmond are at. This is what Brisbane will do to you. So Brisbane struggle against well-drilled side, well-organised sides. But if you come up there and you're a mess on the injury front, you're a mess, you know, in your game plan, your system, well, this is what's going to happen to you. And it was just as bad a beating as you'll see, Dave.
It was. Look, it was impressive, Lord, the way they actually ground that out to 120 points or thereabouts in the end. And they've had a good 3 weeks, haven't they? They beat the Gold Coast Suns 3 weeks ago. They went to Adelaide and drew with the Crows in between that game and last night's game. And they've turned their season around. They still sit outside the 8, but they're showing enough to think that they could well be back in the reckoning.
OK, and just on that, I feel a volcano coming on. He has been on fire this season. What do you got?
Yeah, no, I'd say it's a really difficult position for Adem to be in, but last week we were critical of his post-match media conference and the get-out that he gave his players. Let's revisit that.
And I can't fault our effort. Like, we try, and the boys are trying almost like they're trying too hard. We're slipping over and missing tackles, and which is, like I said, I've said this over and over, that we can't fault the effort. It's just our execution.
Yeah, it was the wrong strategy. You had to fault their effort last week. They were really poor, so the players go, OK, we hear that. The coach is happy with our effort, so then we'll deliver this, which was no effort again. So this is the first quarter. Watch Neil here. He's the one that's going to get that ball back from here. So let's see if there's, in the first 5 minutes of this game, any intent, any effort from Richmond, because last week the coach said he was happy with it when it was similar to this. I just couldn't believe that. Watch Bolton here. He's a real issue for them. Shea Bolton looks to the umpire for a free kick, gets up, has a whinge to the umpire, walks around, and then away you go, and off you go. And Lohmann kicks 5 goals against you, top of the screen there, versus Short, who's an experienced player. This is poor effort. This is standards that Adem can't accept from his senior players, Bolton and Short. Bolton again here, V McCluggage. He just walks, gives up, loses the clearance and walks away. So you cannot be comfortable with that effort. We don't expect you to win, but when you allow standards like you allowed last week, no wonder they had the first 10 conceded against them last night.
Lordo, you made some really strong comments about the Tigers on Footy Classified on Wednesday, about Adem wanting to, or needing to, in your eyes, demand of his players to look him in the eye and say, do you want to be there? Yeah. Did you see anything to suggest that some of those players we've talked about actually want to be there?
Yeah, Damo, it's interesting because Kane's spot on and he's right, and that's where Adem Yze, the best thing you could do is challenge his best players. Some are too scared to because they go, I don't want to lose my senior players, but I think for him to make a stand, that vision of Bolton, I hadn't seen it as closely as Kane, that is spot on. Like, yes, injuries, I don't think any coach could have Richmond win at the moment, so that's the out I want to give Adem Yze. But that is just not good enough. And yes, I'd be challenging a lot of senior players at that club about whether they want to stay or whether they want to go, and try and cash in with as many top picks as they can.
And do you then extend that to, I mean, and I had the views last week about Brendan Gale, TJ, needing, in my eyes, to stand down, given he's now got a future at another footy club upcoming. Yeah. If you draw that measure on the players needing to go to the coach saying, I want to be here, the CEO's checked out, and I feel there are problems right now.
Is that a bit unfair to say he's checked out?
Oh, he's going to another club, TJ.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he's checked out.
He's checked out of the Richmond Football Club. The problems of the Richmond Football Club are now not his. Now, I've got absolutely no doubt he will try and be convincing of himself that he will be doing it for the right reasons. But I keep saying, his views now with what needs to happen may not align with the person who is about to replace him. And I feel that this club's problems right now are so dramatic that the rebuild needs to start now, not when his tenure as CEO finishes. Look, people may think it's a small part of their bigger problem, and maybe it is. But if he's not going to be there anyway to see out what they now need to do to rebuild, well, I think start it now.
If he's doing anything, like if he's going to meet with somebody about a potential Tasmanian position, if he's going to meet with, I think that I'm with Damo. I think it's time to go. If you're doing anything within your week that has got anything to do with Tasmania, I'm with Damo. I think that's...
Yeah, I mean, you know Benny as well as anyone else. I think he's probably one of the more ethical people in football.
There's no doubt about that,
I don't think his own morals or his professionalism would allow him to do that.
No, but I'm not even questioning any of that. And I put him as the #1 architect for the success they've had.
Absolutely.
I've said that. And again, there's no question of the ethics. It's just that he's not going to be there come January 1 next year. The problems are real, and they're maybe even bigger than anyone, including himself, right now realises.
Anyway, let's take a look at the score from this game. And it wasn't a pretty one for Richmond, but a ripper for Brisbane.
It was. They kicked the first 10 goals, and Lohmann, career best with 5. Charlie Cameron hit some form with 5. Lachie Neale 36, Zorko 35. The man we're about to speak to, Josh Dunkley, had 26. So for the Tigers, Cumberland kicked a couple. Rioli had 25. Prestia and Dow had 20. But let's start in the first quarter because it was an elite start by you guys. When you come up against a depleted side like that, it's quite easy to go through the motions, but I thought you guys were on from the very first minute.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a focus of ours. Obviously, after the week that the Tigers have had in the media and whatnot, you expect their best. And, you know, the focus for us was heading into that first quarter and making sure that we bring the heat and not be hunted by them, actually be the hunters ourselves. So it was a great start, and I thought we did quite well to get onto a bit of a roll early and then continue that throughout the game.
So it's been a rough start, and you guys have been under a lot of pressure yourselves throughout the year, Josh. What has been the key focus? It's been a much better 3 weeks from you guys. It was a ripper game last week against the Crows, but yeah, your focus areas as a team to get back to the consistency you know you can play at.
Yeah, it's probably more narrowing your focus, Lloydie, and I know a lot of you guys would know about it. Is, you know, as individual players, you've got to play your role and you want to perform that week in, week out. And I think as our group, we probably weren't playing together as a team as well as what we had in the past. So really narrowing it in and making sure that you get your role done, and then whatever your role is, that contributes to the team and then hopefully wins. So it's been good the last few weeks. Obviously a draw against the Crows, but they're in really good form. So we couldn't quite get their 4 points down there last year and managed to get 2 this year. So I feel like there's a lot of young guys coming into the team and playing good footy for us too. So that's good.
A lot of your players have been up and down in form, and some players got into some good form last night. What about your form this year? How have you seen your progression?
Yeah, I feel like I've been pretty consistent throughout the year as a player. You know, I always pride myself on my defensive side of the game, as you can see there, a bit of a tackle, but I love getting in amongst the contests and trying to make my teammates better. So that's the main thing for me. And yeah, I feel like I've been pretty consistent this year. So just got to keep working with the boys and keep getting everyone else better.
Just as we look at some of your highlights yourself last night, Josh, pre-season, Chris Fagan said that you were the player most like Luke Hodge that he'd ever come across. And then adding to that, you've got the status as a vice-captain of the footy club, the leadership side of your game. Do you still feel it's a work in progress and developing?
Absolutely. I feel like there's never, like, the sky's always the limit, and you always strive to be better as a person and a player. So for me, I've been really able to grow that leadership space since I've moved up here, and we've got a great leadership crew. You know, talked about Trent Cotchin before. He's involved with us boys this year and helping myself and all the other leaders grow as leaders. So really appreciate all the work that he's doing for us, but also the work that Fags and everyone else does, and Danny Daly, and, you know, around the footy club. So we've got some great leaders to be able to aspire to be like. So for me, that's all I look to do, is learn each day, both as a person and player.
I was having a chat to Lordo off air the other day, and he just mentioned Dane Zorko and the resume that he's building, like 5 best and fairest. We probably don't speak about him enough. He may win his 6th this year. Last night he was enormous. The move to half back in his last month has just been sensational. But at 34, what makes him so good?
Oh, he's sort of refound himself down there. Zorks, he's a bubble of energy. Loves getting the footy in his hands, and we love having the ball in his hands too. So he's quite a good distributor, and the way that he's been able to work his way through games and really play smart footy for us is a credit to him, and really helping us with our ball movement, especially after losing a couple of guys down back this year. So love having Zorks playing good footy, and hopefully can continue to do that this year.
Where does he sit on the most competitive players that you've played with?
Yeah, he's definitely up there. I used to hate playing against him, so it's actually nice to have him on my team now.
Hey, Kai Lohmann last night was a real point of difference. 5 goals, developing nicely.
Yeah, he is, Kai. You know, for him, it's been that consistency. I remember having chats to him last year when he was out of contract, and weighing up his decision whether to go or not, and he stayed and stuck true. And I feel like the work that he does behind the scenes is a credit to him, and no surprise as to why he's playing really good footy for us now, really consistent.
Josh, I mentioned earlier it was your 150th game last night. Your dad couldn't be there. Your dad, of course, forged a terrific career for himself. He's laid up with back surgery, is he?
Yeah, he's unfortunately in hospital, so I had back surgery on Monday. He'll be watching this. I know Will B loves you guys on the Sunday footy show, so he'll be kicking back on the hospital bed right now watching this one. So, yeah, shout out to him, but couldn't make it. But he's always there with me week in, week out, as all my family are and friends. So love the support that I get.
Bit of a shoe collector, are you, Josh, as well? In the background, fair collection there.
Yeah, I've got a few shoes, Lloydie, as you can probably tell in the background. That's only half of them, though, so there's a few more over the other side. And, yeah, just love the Nike Dunk shoes.
What's
I
your
love those
favourite
ones.
pair?
Yeah, those Dunk lows, they're called. So there's those ones that's what all of those are in the background right there.
All right, let's have a look at the votes from last night. And I thought Dane Zorko was the best man on the ground. 86% he went at was brilliant for those disposals. Lockie Neal was good again. I thought Lohmann's job early was done. Kicked his 5 goals, but I thought he was brilliant. And Joe Danaher, 20-odd disposals, kicked 3 goals and was instrumental in everything.
Just on Joey, who Brownie's just given votes to, we hear a lot of things about him, Dunks. Is it true that he doesn't have a TV in his house? Like, tell us a bit about Joey Danaher as a person.
Yeah, it is. He's a very unique character, Joey. I love him, and I've grown to know him a lot more, obviously, over my time at the Lions. And he obviously drives a lot of kilometres to play football and train with us and whatnot. But to play with him out there on the field, he's a generational type player. You talked about that before, but you don't get anything like him. So just embrace the way that he plays the game and makes us better as a team week in, week out. So love playing with Joey and love the character that he brings to our club.
You walk away with the best prize pack in football. I'm led to believe we've got a special guest from Gumbaya World coming in shortly, but you can check this out when you're in town. Water slides, through rides and Wildlife Collide. Unlimited access with a family pass. There's the J-Labs, the mini J-Buds, thanks to J-Lab. True wireless and pack over 5 hours of playtime. The Clutch & Co. will have you best dressed on the golf course with a quarter zip top and pants. From Clutch & Co. There's the Callaway Chrome Tour golf balls and a cap, thanks to our great friends at Callaway. Another 2 hats for the playing group, thanks to Travis Matthews. You can see those there. These True Linkswear golf shoes are that good, you'll want to wear them everywhere. Check them out, truelinkswear.com.au. The bar fridges, they're back. Enjoy a custom designed bar fridge for a fridge to keep your drinks cool with your name on it. The pair of Aquilas, premium quality footwear since 1958. There's them there, the Aquilas. You'll look good in them. They can add to your shoe collection. The Cookie Box, Melbourne's finest artisan cookie shop. Treat yourself to a special delivery thanks to Cookie Box. The Rick's Eyewear, no, platform 28 before that. The best pub in Docklands. There's the Rick's eyewear that inspires confidence. Check it out, rickseyewear.com.au. And St. Goliath, elevate your wardrobe with the latest streetwear from St. Goliath.
Fantastic. Josh, good to catch up with you, and again, a speedy recovery to your dad. And in fact, almost your entire family's sporty, aren't they? Have you got a sister playing netball up there and also your partner? And
Yeah, that's correct. My sister, they're actually playing today, the Queensland Firebirds. My sister and partner play together in the same team, and obviously my brother's playing in the VFL at the Lions, so very sporty family.
Yeah, very sporty. All right, well, thanks for spending some of your time with us today, mate, and continued success for the rest of the season. You're down here next week, I think, for the Hawthorn game, so good luck.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. Josh Dunkley joining us there.
Amazing person. I went on a tour of New Zealand with 30 of the best junior footballers when he was 16, 17 years of age, and there was a value. They all had a value each.
Yeah.
And at the end of it all, you vote 3-2-1 on who stands for everything as a footballer, and it was Josh Dunkley. So he's got captaincy written all over him, whether he is or he isn't at the Lions, but that's the type of people you want within your footy club.
Oh, Josh is still listening too. Oh, Josh, you've gone high praise.
Appreciate that, Lloydie.
Remember that trip. He was voted as everything you'd embody in wanting a footballer and a person within your environment. So.
Oh, that's great.